What's up guys, it's me, and today I'm going to talk about my trauma, and the reason why I act like this or who I am today. There was a person who told me that they were going through some stuff, and I realized I was going through that same stuff as well. So today I'm going to tell you how and why I am still alive to this day, and I'm going to tell you what or how did I go through this. So let's get to this video. Since 2020, my life has flipped over. My sister texted my teacher, and since one of my parents' arguments, my sister went to my mom's phone and texted my teacher saying help. We called Child Protective Services. I don't really like saying that, but I'm going to tell you today. And they went to the door. They saw how messy our house was because, well, we were kids and we were messy and we didn't pick up on ourselves. And it was really dirty, which it shouldn't be that dirty, but it was. I'm not gonna tell you how exactly it was, but it was bad. And it shouldn't be a home for kids. They gave us a couple of weeks to clean it up, but they told us me and my sister couldn't stay there for the time being. So we went to my dad's friend's house, which he's no longer a friend. He actually betrayed us, and I'm going to tell you why and how in a little bit. We went there, and a couple of months later, my grandfather, who was living there because he couldn't stay by himself because my grandmother died because she had a heart attack on New Year's Eve, and he couldn't live by himself, so he lived with us since we were closer to him, and we actually wasn't staying in place, so he stayed there, but he sold the house, so we were homeless. So we had to stay at my dad's friend's house, and he wasn't really nice to his animals. He would hurt them, and he would abuse his dad, who was a bit chunky, to say the least. But he loved his mother, and he also had a girlfriend. Okay. And he would get in arguments with my fat dad. I remember that he got in a very bad argument to the point my mom and the roommate of my dad's ex-friend, had to hold them back before they get to a fist fight. And I was between them. I was literally between them to the point I had to run upstairs and I had to push past them so I can get to the room where my mom and sister was. Once I got there, my mom closed the door and they fought. She left the room and stopped the fight with the roommate. After all that, the guy called Child Protective Services and they took me and my sister away. And while we were in the office, they arrested my mom right in front of me, and all I had was her purse. Soon my cousin came and picked me and my sister up and took us to Las Vegas, which we stayed there for a couple of weeks until my mom was out of jail. And I hold on that purse like it was like a little teddy bear, and I would cry every single night. And that's kind of the reason why I have abandonment issues. And, well, my mother lied and said we were going to a restaurant, but we were actually going to a abandoned gas station where my father was, and he would take us to Michigan. We went there, we stayed there for a couple of days, weeks I think, with my dad's friend. No, actually we stayed with the grandparents, my dad's mom and dad, stepdad actually. They weren't nice. They were very strict, and let's just say they weren't really nice, and they kicked us out. So we stayed with my dad's friend, which was a girl, until I realized exactly why he was friends with her. But I'm not going to tell you that, because that's his personal business. And and then we went to school because we couldn't stay out of school. And one day, I was at class until the cops came in, saying, "Yo, come here." Into the office. They took us into the car, took us to the police station, and we waited until my dad got there. They arrested my dad and took me back to my dad's friend's house. And we went back to the house, and she told us that we are going to a home. I don't really like saying what it is, but it's a home that if your parents are arrested, or you don't have a house or something, or your parents are in general are not really good, they take you to this home where they will take care of you and teach you things that every single child should know, like basic hygiene and cleaning after yourself and all that, like a proper home, until your family can have you back again. So we flew back to my old state. I'm really trying not to say where I live right now. And since day one, there was already red flags. They pushed me around, made fun of me because when I'm ever shy or scared, I act like a child, like I'm a baby. I would talk like a baby and act like one. They made fun of me. They kicked me, punched me, pushed me, made me cry. And they saying, "Stop being a crybaby. Stop being a baby. If you act like a baby, then we're gonna treat you like one." I'm sorry that I was unlike them, to say the least. And there was another guy who was also there. He was a 7-year-old, dark-skinned kid. And his story is very sad, what his father did to him. But I'm not gonna tell you guys, because it's not my story to tell. But let's just say his father deserves to be in prison. Anyways, those, after weeks, turned to months, and months turned to years. They kept on abusing me mentally and physically. The kids would hurt me physically, and the adults would hurt me mentally. They would blame me for things, make me feel like I don't deserve to have anything. They would tell me things that you should not ever tell a child nor human being. And in general, they weren't very nice. And it was very sad. And I remember one night, there's a lot of traumatizing things that I remember vividly, to the point I can't ever stop. Like, in the middle of the night, I'll be thinking about these and I just cry. And here's the thing about them. Whenever you cry, they yell at you. They tell you, "Stop crying, you crybaby." You know what happens when you tell somebody to stop crying? They don't stop. It actually worsens them and makes them cry louder. That's what happened to me. Every single time they tell me, "Stop crying, stop crying," I would cry louder, I would cry louder. You just gotta give me a moment of myself so I can calm down, so I can continue doing what I was doing. And now I realized there was this phobia, I forgot what it was called, but it was a phobia that you don't like being yelled at. If you get yelled at, flipping tears will be falling down. That would happen. So I'm going to tell you some things that has happened and traumatized me. You guys can picture this in your mind if you wanna, but really it's not a really pretty scene. The most traumatizing thing that I remember was one night the little boy was messing around with me and the other oldest daughter, who was teasing us, you know, doing little funny suggestions. And we painfully told him, stop that. And then the father came on in. I think he was drunk at the time. I don't know. And he grabbed the little boy by the shirt, slammed him against the wall, picked him up by the shirt. He was like flipping 5 feet off the ground, and he's a small little boy. And he yelled right in his face, telling him, don't do that again. You should never touch a woman or something. I don't know. I don't remember what he did. And then he let go of the boy, and he slammed right on the ground. And the little boy was still crying, and the guy walked away. And I was so shook. I was shaking. And this is not the first time he ever hit or yelled at one of us. Another story is the daughter of him, who was like 13 at the time. She accidentally left a bowl of cereal out overnight. He's like, you should clean this up. She said, okay. She cleaned it up, sat down. He kept on scolding her and telling her, like, how irresponsible you are. And she told him, leave me alone, Dad. That's all she did. And he said, what did you say? She said, I said, leave me alone. And she looked like she was on the bridge of tears. He walked up to her and slapped her and yelled at her. She's like, Dad, please stop. And he said, what did you just say to me? And threw her against the ground and punched her, kicked her, slapped her over and over and over again. And to tell you, I was right there on the table, because this took place in the kitchen. There was a kitchen, and then right next to the kitchen was the dining room. I was in the corner. I was sitting at the table, and she was too. She was across of me. And I saw it all unfold, and I was just eating my breakfast, and I was frozen, and I was very close to crying. Luckily, the mom came on in, but she's not innocent. I'll tell you what terrible thing she has done too later. But anyway, the mom came on in. She told the dad, stop, I think she learned enough. Let her go. And he did. Kinda. He was trying to attack her still, but the mom had to pry him away. He's a pretty chunky guy. She ran off to her room crying. I finished my cereal as fast as I can, cleaned it up, and went to the room. And I sat down next to her. I comforted her, and she told me, and I'm like, girl, I almost cried. She's like, if you did, we would probably beat the shit out of you too. I'm like, oh, red flags, oh. And if she thinks that, that's probably true. So, there's a lot of things. You sometimes was a good guy, sometimes he was a bad guy, sometimes it was in between. It was literally a gamble. You will never know if he was going to be nice to you or mean to you. You will never know. And I can go on for days and tell you what this man has done. But now we're going to the woman. The wife, the mom. So, one day, I stole some stuff, quote unquote. I don't exactly call it stealing, but I guess it was. I put some stuff in my bag, like some perfume, some deodorant, you know. Basic hygiene, because I wanted to keep clean, you know. Anyways, yeah, that's it. And then he found out. He yelled at me, of course. Reasonable. Did not have to tell her friend, her best friend, and also her daughter. And her best friend's the one who takes me to summer camp. Keep that in mind. Summer camp comes on in PE time, because there was different stations for each grade. There was a station for my grade, so I was sitting there. We were playing, I think, tag, I guess, in the gym, until the best friend daughter, I'm just gonna call her daughter, came up to me like, hey, you want to see a magic trick? I'm like, sure. Why are you being so nice to me all of a sudden? I should have seen the red flags before it happened. So I closed my eyes, as she told me to. 2.6 seconds later, I felt a pinch. A really hard pinch, and she did not let go for 5 seconds. What she did, I went to the bleachers and cried. Because I didn't want to be a crying mess right in front of where everybody is, so I went back. And the teacher came up to me, what's wrong? What's wrong? What happened? And I told her what she did. So she called the best friend's mom. And when I got in the car, now it was the end of the day, got in the car. It's like, really? You told the teacher because of one little pinch? You know what? You deserve it. You have no right to tell the teacher that she pinched you. You deserve it. I think that was what she said. So, in my mind, I'm like, so let me get this straight. You're blaming me for telling me I shouldn't have told the teacher that this girl pinched me over because I stole, quote unquote, 3 things. Still, you shouldn't hurt anybody. Violence is not the answer. Oh wait, when did I hear that ever? The father said that. And he's the one who does most of the violence. And there, ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys and they thems. So yeah. There was I don't know. Oh, there was one time we're going back to the father, because right now I don't remember a lot. I guess I tried so hard to get it out of my mind. Oh, my mind, little smooth brain. I'm having a seizure right now. Okay, anyway. So, one day, we're going to church, because every single Saturday, we go to this church. And the little girl, which was like 4, did not open the door. So I hit her, but I didn't meant to hit her. I was trying to move her so I could open the door. And I guess I hit her really hard, or one of my nails, because my nails are very long and sharp, hit her in the forehead. I don't know. I didn't hit her that hard. And she ran in, and the father came in, went to my face, and said, if you touch one of my daughters again, I am not scared to go to jail. He said that. He said that right to me. First off, you should never threaten the child. Second off, you should never do that. Third off, don't do that. And you act like I won't tell the entire world? I'll be so surprised if this video gets like a lot of views. I'm like, oh, we're going after people. We're getting paid for it. But I doubt that. Anyways. So that's some of my trauma. That went on for 2.5 years. 2.5. And trust me, I was very suicidal. To the point I almost, in the middle of the night, got up from my bed, went to the kitchen, grabbed a knife, and ended it all. The reason why I didn't, and I want you guys to listen to this, is because of my sister and my family. And I told myself, if I do this at a very young age, I might miss out on the greatest things. And I was very young. You should never end yourself at a very young age. I don't know. So I stayed strong. I did it. And eventually, I was home. Eventually, they said, you were going home. And can you not? I was so happy, but also so broken at the same time. They have broke me so much, to the point I felt nothing when I got home. A couple weeks later, my cat died right behind me when I was playing a game. Not a single tear, while everybody was crying hysterically. My father left because he couldn't be there. And he had to go to work, so he was crying. Everyone was crying except me. I didn't even cry. I was literally like, what's the problem? What was the problem? Because I was that broken to the point I did not cry at my cat who was dying there. And it took her like 13 minutes or 20 for her to finally let go and die. 2 days later, or like the next day, we went to go and bury her in the backyard. In my apartment, we don't have a backyard, so we had to go to my dad's friend's house, his other friend, who he is still a friend to this day, but I still don't trust him. This video will get too much longer if I tell you why. But anyways, we went there, we buried her, said our final last goodbyes, and went home. My sister was still hysterical. She could not stop crying. She's like, ah! But I was like, what? It's just a cat. And that's how broken I was. But days and days kept on going. I was very broken. I'm gonna be a broken record at this point. I was shut down. At school, I stopped talking to my teacher. I stopped everything. I was literally on autopilot. When I wake up, my mom says, wake up, it's time for school. I get up, I get ready, that's it. I go to school, do my work, come back home, and stay up until I have to go to bed. Over and over and over again. To the point I was skipping breakfast. And I stopped eating. To the point I almost starved myself. And going back to the suicide thing, I almost starved myself to death. Because I wanted to end it all. But I didn't. I stayed strong. So exactly how did I become all this? It takes time. Everyone has their own new English is not working today. Unique. Okay. English. Thank you for coming back. Ways of how to crop trauma. How I did was YouTube. YouTube was really the reason how I went through some things. Watching cute little puppy videos, watching funny videos, and here, if you want to watch some funny YouTubers, in my opinion, the boys' YouTube channel, I am Brandon Ferris, and hold up, let me think. Come on, let's go think. I don't know. I can't think today. And other YouTube channels that you might like, but the boys and I am Brandon Ferris are the most funniest people I have ever seen in my entire life. They make me laugh. They make me want to come back again. That's how I exactly am going through life. And to let you know, I am a therapist myself. Not really, I'm not a licensed therapist, but I do listen to people, and I'll let all your feelings out, and I am there for you. Never in my entire life have I ever backstabbed anybody. I will always be there until the day you die. And I'm very nice in person. I will respect you. I will never hurt you or hit you. I'll never yell at you if you make me upset. I'll just walk away and just calm down so I can talk to you again. That's how I do it. I'm a very nice person. And if you ever need to talk to me, you guys can join my Discord, link in description below. And you can always talk to me. You can be with my group, my couple of friends who were there. And I'm always there for you. and this YouTube channel your family. And now, as I realize, I was being a bit harsh on the girl, but now I understand why she acts like this, and it makes complete sense. So, I want you guys to know, if you're going through anything, trauma, relationship problems, etc., etc., I can go on forever. Talk to somebody you trust or trust. See, I have very big trust issues, but at the same time, I know if I can trust this person or not. And I talk to my sister, I talk to myself even. Yes, you can talk to yourself. You can just be in a room and talk to yourself and get all that anger out of you, all that sadness out. I'll see you guys soon. Peace. Adios. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.